This is a quadratic equation that I believe most of you are familiar with. And in this video, I'm going to show you the method I use to solve for x. This is the formula I use for calculating x. This formula might seem complicated at first, especially because it's just a complexified version of the quadratic formula. But trust me, this is way faster if you're doing mental calculation. And now I will show you my thought process when using this method. First of all, I will calculate what is b over 2a. After getting the value of b over 2a, I will memorize it and call it m here. Then we have to find what is the value of b over 2a squared, which is also m squared. Then I'll call the value of m squared n and memorize this value. Next step is to calculate c over a. After getting the value of c over a, I will memorize it and call it O here. And the next step will be finding what is b over 2a squared minus c over a. b over 2a squared and c over a are just n and o. So that means this is also n minus o. After getting the value of n minus o, I'll call it p. Now we can forget about n and o, and we only need to remember m and p. The next part is to find the square root of b over 2a squared minus c over a. The left side is square rooted. We will also have to square root p. And we'll call the value square root p q. Notice q and m are these two values in the formula. And now we'll substitute them in the formula into q and m. And there you have it. You can solve for x now. Now, let's try using this method on some examples. First of all, let's find for a, b, and c. Let's put this aside and let's solve for the first step, which is b over 2a. Now we'll memorize the negative 3. And let's calculate what is b over 2a squared. So the value we got is 9. Let's memorize that, and time to find our next number, which is c over a. The value we got from c over a is also 9. So now let's hop on to the next step, which is finding for b over 2a squared minus c over a. And here we'll get that the value is equal to 0. So for this part, we have to square root the value we got on the last part, which is b over 2a squared minus c over a. and we got the value of 0, but the square root of 0 is still 0, so we get 0. And for the next part, we have to put the 0 and -3 into the formula. Here, we will only get one answer for x, because the positive or negative version of 0 is still 0. It holds the same value. So we'll get x equals to 0 minus -3. And minus -3 will just be plus 3. 0 plus 3 and we get 3. So x equals to 3. So now let's plug it in to our original equation and see if x equals to 3 works. After plugging x equals to 3 in and doing some simple arithmetic later, we can see that it leads to 0 equals to 0. And 0 does equal to 0. That means x equals to 3 is correct. And next up, let's solve another quadratic equation. And this time, a harder one. So, first things first, let's find for a, b, and c. And just like before, let's put this aside and calculate for b over 2a. So this is where it might get a bit more complicated. As you can see here, I've introduced two fractions. And remember to never use decimals in this method, because decimals will slow you down a lot, especially when you get to the square root part. So after calculating b over 2a and simplifying it without any decimals, we get -11 over 2. And the next step will be calculating c over a. Sorry, we'll not be calculating c over a. Instead, we should be calculating b over 2a squared first. So b over 2a is just -11 over 2, and we square it. So we should distribute the 2 onto the top part and the divider, and we'll get -11 squared divided by 2 squared, which is going to be 121 divided by 4. And now we get to the c over a part. And c over a is pretty simple. It's just 54 over 3, which is going to become 18. And now let's calculate the next step, which is b over 2a squared minus c over a. So now we take the 121 over 4 from the b over 2a squared and the 18 from the c over a, and we get 121 over 4 minus 18. And we equalize the dividers to get 121 over 4 minus 72 over 4, and we get 49 over 4. So now let's hop into the square root part. So like we've calculated just now, b over 2a squared minus c over a will be 49 over 4. And if we square root the whole thing, it will be square root of 49 over 4. And the square root can be distributed to the 49 and the 4, and we will get square root of 49 divided by square root of 4, which in the end becomes 7 over 2. Next step, we put the 7 over 2 and the -11 over 2 and plug it in to the formula. And then we will get two answers for x. One is where 7 over 2 is positive, and the other one is where 7 over 2 is negative. And after some simple arithmetic later, we'll get that x equals to 9 and also equals to 2. So now let's plug these two numbers into the quadratic equation and see if they work. Plugging these two values of x into the equation, we can see that both of them lead to 0 equals to 0. And 0 does equal to 0. So they are both correct. And this is the end of the video. I hope you're going to use this method in the future. And it might seem hard at the beginning, but I promise you, after just practicing for a while, you get used to it and it's incredibly fast. Faster than using the normal quadratic formula and faster than using those guessing methods out there. And I use this method and I believe it's incredibly fast for mental calculation. So, thank you for watching. Bye.